Well, I'll kick it off. So I think one of the words that I think connects nicely with mental endurance is dealing with adversity and dealing with these challenges that are coming at us and finding the ability to, during these times, to learn from them and to find meaning within, what's actually happening. So it's the whole thing behind Harvard Business Review's, whole recap on resilience is, first accept your reality. Second, find meaning in that moment. And then third, improvise. And so they actually had a piece where they talked about the Crucible experience. Crucible is actually a thing that they use to turn normal metals into gold. And so it's a test, right? And so we're testing this time to try and turn a bad experience into gold. And so finding that meaning and pushing through will hopefully, build our endurance over time.
Some of them do not have a home office. Many of them are working in their bedroom. Highly not great to be in the bedroom and working. That's what I'm seeing, at least. If we create goals that we can't keep, we just get incredibly defeated and deflated and more depressed. So what I have found is people are now setting personal intentions on a daily basis. And those personal decrees to help them maintain their personal health just for that 24-hour period. How do I do this? How do I get through this day? What do I need to do personally from an intention standpoint and a decree standpoint to have an optimum experience in this day? Not 6 months out, not a year out, but right now. There are no answers outside of us. The answers are within us. And practices like that, pranayama, which is, focused breath work, as Sarah mentioned, Tai Chi, yoga, all of those are ways to still the external noise, that scrolling feed we just talked about, everything that's externally happening to us. If we do not have that in our lives right now, we're in big trouble.
In 2000, I had my crucible moment with the telecom tech bust. And I was demoted, almost bankrupt, and had to rebuild. And I came across the research of Dr. Martin Seligman. And he was doing research on soldiers and developed 5 primary disciplines for what's called post-traumatic growth. Part of it is exactly what you said, that positive mindset. Now it's not things will get better, it's whatever the situation is, I'll get better through it, or that accepting the world as it is. The second one, strengths. You play to your strengths. Those release dopamine and endorphins, those natural strengths that you have. The third is that circle of 5, that trusted circle of 5 that you could call at 2 a.m. that would come and help you out. They may chew you out, but they'll still come and help you out. But they'll hold you to your best and they'll encourage you. The fourth one we added was the sleep and the physical health. The fifth one, meaning, finding meaning and agency. You can control your attitude. You may not be able to control the events, and living for something beyond you and bigger than you. And then the fifth one is what Lori was talking about, is coming up with different metrics of what success looks like and having a sense of daily accomplishment.
I want to call out a couple things. So first, this isn't really typical remote working, right? Like, we're in the middle of a pandemic. A lot of our normal outlets don't exist right now. There are some clearer research around boundaries and self-management strategies for how you maintain your work and life separate. I recognize that's difficult when you live where you work and you work where you live. Things like using different devices for your work and personal life. So trying not to have your personal phone be also your work phone. Allowing transition time between home and work. So you're not just downstairs getting ready for the day, eating breakfast, and then putting things down and immediately coming upstairs, but really thinking about that transition piece. Something Reagan said earlier that I want to call out is empathy. So switching the mindset from mental endurance, but also recognizing that wearing masks and social distancing and working from home and staying away from people is a practice in empathy, because you're not just keeping yourself safe, but you're keeping others safe as well. And so that can actually build resilience, is kind of that mindset shift. Also, I'm a big fan of mindful distractions. So like books or podcasts or like positive news sources. growth mindset, so using your time to learn something new or better. I'm trying embroidery. I suck at it, but it's like a blast. Just like little things like that are not related to work whatsoever, that are allowing me to kind of get out of that mindset and into kind of a fun place of growth.